Welcome to the Industry Insider, brought to you by PromoCorner. Each week, promotional product professionals Meg Erber, Jeff Franklin, and Stephen McFadden, along with special guests, will discuss industry news, trends, and events with a focus on educating the promotional products industry. The Industry Insider, the nerdy news you need to know.
Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, the National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I'm joined today by three other lovely folks. But before we get to them, we got to tell you about our fine sponsor for today. The broadcast is brought to you by PromoCorner. Look, PromoCorner provides digital marketing solutions for suppliers and distributors, and their services include email broadcasting, banner ads, sponsorship opportunities, content, and more content. Blogs, vlogs, and podcasts, video services, and of course the Promo Show, which is a platform for private virtual events. So contact sales at promocorner.com to learn more about their services and tell them the Industry Insider sent you there. Why don't we say hey to Meg Erber. Meg Erber, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. I've been waiting for this day for like 6 months. I don't know. We've been working behind the scenes again, like tirelessly trying to kick off this next event for PromoCare. So I am beyond excited to talk to you guys about it today.
And Steven's got a duck decoy down there. What's that all about, Steven?
I was just looking at my shelf. I was like, what can I bring to the table today? And I actually got this really cool award, like a sponsorship thing. So you know, those people, like if you do a golf tournament or something, they give you a little plaque. This group, they did like hand-painted ducks because they had all like duck-themed like award levels. So this was the Mallard sponsor. And so I was a Mallard sponsor. So
very nice.
There you go. So
I like that. The play on the duck theme for the awards with the sponsorship levels. Interesting.
But that duck isn't a mallard, is it?
I don't know. I'm not.
I don't think that's a mallard.
It rolls right into your second part of the show sponsor, which is Aflac, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that voice you just heard was Scott Pearson. We're excited to have Scott back on the show. We're gonna talk about water for good and what PromoCares is doing. But Scott, it is customary for us to give our special guest a good 3 to 4 minutes before we roll into the topic to basically introduce yourself for anybody that didn't see you on the first time you were on the show. And maybe tell us how you got started in the promotional products industry and what you've been up to since. So take it away, Scott.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So the second time on, I need to know how many more times before I get the gold lame jacket, right? Like you host Saturday Night Live enough times or you're on Jimmy Fallon enough times, like you get something, right? So
we send you a mallard. We're going to send you a mallard.
That mallard. I want that mallard. No, awesome. How did I get, started in the promotional product industry. Really didn't know that I wanted to be here. It was the people I bought into, which is why I landed into this industry. I really didn't have any desire to go out and sell little floating sailboat travel alarm clocks and oil and stuff. And that goes back. That was the actual product that we sold in the very beginning. It was the people that brought me into this industry, and it's the people that keep me in this industry. We find constantly newfound purposes as to what drives us and what we do. And through, working through sales, marketing, supply chain management, product development, compliance in big box supplier areas, developing our own retail brand, becoming a certified B Corp, launching into our social purpose work, which has been clean water with Planet Water Foundation. So that has been kind of the snapshot journey in the industry. But, it's relationships. I think that's why we're here today. And what we're looking to reach out to within the industry is to tap those relationships and bring some awareness to a global need.
Pun intended, Scott?
Always. Why not?
All right. Just wanted to make sure.
Absolutely. And that's where we're at today. And what we're doing now is really just driving more awareness into what we're going to discuss today, which is clean water into communities that we're drawing resources out of for promotional products. And we can be revenue driven, we can focus on social purpose work, and we can drive environmental stewardship. And that's where we feel the progression of the industry needs to go, leadership in the industry needs to go. And that'll be our saving grace, I believe.
Awesome. Well, we're super excited about it, but I want to respond to a question here, or I'm sorry, a comment, a Facebook comment from Amelia Model. She says it's beard day. I particularly like Meg's the best. Meg definitely has the best beard on the podcast.
I try.
Yeah.
Got to keep it proper. Got to keep it proper.
And Steven, people want to know where your furry coworker's at. What's up?
He's sleeping. He's sleeping in the other room. We'll have to bring him. Oh, we'll bring him in if he's awake. If not, we're gonna let the sleeping dog lie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Well, I think we have a video that the Promo Cares board has put together. Jeff, would you like to play that for us?
Yeah, but first, I know Scott. You asked, how many episodes you got to be on before you get to gold jacket. Steven's personal giveaway is a mocha java with oat milk. So I don't know if that's something that interests you or not, but
I am completely into that.
Steven, that was your coffee order. It was a mocha with oat milk.
Yeah. I didn't. The Java part threw me off. I don't know if that was just extra words you're trying to put in there to make it sound fancy.
Look, you want me to say it's a mocha frappuccino or a mocha latte?
It's just a hot mocha with oat milk. That's all I need.
Hot mocha. Okay. All right. Fair enough. You can tell that I make my own coffee. I don't go to the $5, the $5 place. So anyhow, all right, very excited. Well, Meg, you asked me to play the video, so I'm going to play the video. Why don't we get that taken care of here?
Danny Rosen, I'll call you right back. Bye-bye.
See, Scott?
Sorry, he called.
Look, now Danny's been on the show 4 times, so you've got some catching up to do. You've got some catching up to do now. So awesome to see a guest appearance from Danny Rosen. All right, let me take this comment off.
We might get to see him again in just a second here.
We are actually. You guys ready? Here we go.
All right.
Did you know that over 2 billion people worldwide lack access to safe drinking water?
Did you know that half of the world's population doesn't have access to safe sanitation?
Approximately 3 billion people do not have access to hand washing facilities with soap.
And 50% of worldwide hospital beds are occupied due to a waterborne illness.
Sadly, today, 1,000 children will die because they lack access to safe water.
Meanwhile, the production of promotional products creates water waste and can be harmful to the environment if not properly treated.
The promotional products industry relies on communities all over the world to produce our products. These communities, they don't have the resources to solve this issue.
And that's why the nonprofit Planet Water Foundation is focused on alleviating the global water crisis by giving access to clean water, water health, and hygiene education programming to the world's most impoverished communities.
Since 2009, Planet Water is deployed in 26 countries. They're helping communities globally gain access to clean, safe drinking water and hygiene education.
And now Promo Cares is proud to announce its latest Promo for Good event, Water for Good, benefiting the Planet Water Foundation.
So we want to raise awareness for this critical issue that affects not just our industry, but billions of people around the world. And our industry, which means you, can create real change by providing clean water for those who need it.
Our goal in 2023 is to raise funds and build 3 aqua towers to support disadvantaged communities in Mexico.
A single tower will give clean drinking water to a community of over 1,800 people.
The total cost to build 1 water tower is $20,000. This includes clean water solutions, hygiene education, program management, and partner engagement.
You can start to make an impact today with one simple step. First, register your team or company with Promo Cares.
Email us at forgood@promocares.org. That's the number 4, good@promocares.org. Once you've registered, we will provide you with a fundraising toolkit.
We've partnered with Zoom Catalog for an exclusive Water for Good e-catalog that will highlight all of the products available during this campaign. And through a sponsored ad, our good friends at Promo Pulse will be providing all of the social media content to help highlight the campaign.
In addition, we have a special Facebook page dedicated to the Water for Good Teamsters. Basically, it's a collaboration zone for all the great fundraising ideas for Promo Cares Water for Good.
Join us in making a difference. Let's help bring clean water to those who need it most.
Yay.
That's
Lovely.
awesome.
Lovely.
Meg, I love that you're wearing the same shirt as in the video, and I'm wearing the same jacket as in the video. So
I just don't
hey,
change. The shirt's
There
so
was a
amazing.
lot of inception going on there with doubles and all of that. So it was very good.
love it.
And
Thank you,
Meg,
Big Show, for putting that together.
I personally love the mug shot that you were doing there, drinking your
The profile,
your,
that was awesome.
It was.
It was very Tom Cruise of you.
So yeah, water for good, man. I don't even know where we start, but we've been working behind the scenes on this, and I'm gonna tell you, the last two were hugely successful. We raised over $70,000 between Sleeping for Good and Ukraine for Good, and we did that by leveraging promo, obviously, and we're gonna do that again this time. And so I want to let Scott kind of talk us through first how this came to be, his involvement with Planet Water, and why we chose them as our beneficiary. So Scott, why don't you take it from here?
Yeah, sure. Really began when we left our big box supplier world and went out to start our own consumer brand of travel goods. We immediately had read through the B Corp handbook a number of times. We knew that was the build and the structure of the company that we wanted to have. It really tapped into our ethos and value system to have a revenue-driven business that's focused on social purpose and environmental stewardship. In those discussions, we started networking with our closest, valued assets, and that would be, a Chuck Fandos, Scott Edited on my team, a number of us. And so Chuck introduced us to Planet Water Organization, to Nick Hill, who's the president, one of the driving forces behind Planet Water. And we started having a number of discussions back and forth. And it wasn't just as simple as like, hey, yeah, send us a check and you can go do a tower. There was a serious vetting process that went into this and a commitment level from our end to them. And we were also vetting them as well, and to see, like, is this the organization we want to be working with? We went to Puerto Rico right after Hurricane Maria, and we helped to set up, that was our first tower that we were able to help set up on site. And it was amazing to learn the process that they go through in vetting the communities, finding out where the towers need to go, where they'll have the best access for children within the school, the disadvantaged school, and then the community can also access the water. It's about 120 days prior that they go in and do the full assessment. They lay down concrete, they get everything that's needed there to build the tower. And then once it goes up, it's amazing to watch the children come out. They enjoy the clean water. Obviously, that's kind of the rush, but the real strong part is we go back into the classroom, and then we start teaching and educating on health and hygiene and why clean water is so important, and the impact that it can bring once you actually have access to clean water. This is that's kind of how it started, and then it just rolled from there. Then there was an earthquake in Indonesia, and so they called on us to immediately contribute a tower into Lombok, Indonesia, which we did. That was a fascinating one because that stayed erect for a period of time as it was needed. They then took it down, deconstructed it, and rebuilt it in another location for a longer term period of time. And each of these towers is sustainable for anywhere from up to 4 to 7 to 10 years. So it's fascinating to watch the multiplier on the number of liters of clean water that have been generated by all these. We then did a tower at a girls' school in India. We did a Cambodia World Tower in during World Water Day in 2019, and that was amazing. We did a full video documentary with our team there. We won an award for that, and that was just to highlight and bring attention to it was amazing. And then the last one we were able to do was in 2019, right before COVID. We did one in Vietnam, about 5 hours outside of Ho Chi Minh City. And that was where we were really driving and working with Planet Water to focus on where we were pulling resources out of. And that's why Vietnam was important to us. We started looking at China, and this was part of the vetting process of Planet Water. And they said, listen, we don't do China. We started and we tried back in 2009, 2010, 2011. What they found was that, unfortunately, like, the government wants to take the accolades for the work done, which is not necessarily the problem, but also realizing that China can build and manage their clean water situation if they chose to and don't. And it's not necessarily a slam on China, it just is what it is. And so that's why then the focus was moved to our factory in Vietnam and being able to do it there. So that's really how we started, and we stayed very close in partnership with them every single step of the way. And we were able to bring volunteers from within our supply chain, general managers, owners of our factories, our QC teams in Vietnam, A number of people came to experience this. So you really roll up a number of individuals that are within your supply chain, within your reach to participate in this. And it's an overwhelming result. And then you get to go back and see Planet Water revisit these towers over the next 2 to 3 to 4+ years and make sure that the sustainability, the buy-in initially from the community is still withstanding. And it just goes on from there. And then that brought us to kind of post-COVID. And where do we go now within our industry with it? And that's where the team at PromoCares and Meg and everybody leading the charge has just been amazing to adopt this initiative that I, not just myself, we are all passionate about. So,
yeah, and I think that. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just going to say, like, just hitting back to the video really quick. I agree with Amelia Model where Carrie Cowden dropped the biggest bomb. If hearing 1,000 kids die each day from not having clean water doesn't pull your heartstrings and make you want to help, you might need to find your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, just kind of rolling it back to the promo industry just a tad. I know in the video it talks about how the promo industry contributes to a lot of water waste. Can you touch on that at all, just to kind of bring that home for what our industry has as far as the impact and water in some of these communities?
Yeah, it's it definitely is water, and it also is a number of other resources that we're burning. I think we're off to doing somewhat of a job to source responsibly and ethically, but there's factories that this industry draws from around the world globally that are their waste is not managed the way that it potentially should be managed, and that creates effects onto the communities within where that factory is or those factories. Water as well. Water is used throughout the manufacturing process, whether it's hard goods, whether it's apparel, whatever it may be. And again, the way that is managed or mismanaged, then the access to these factory workers have, and also within the communities, a lot of these factories around the world, as we know, they have dorms, they have families living on site at factories. What is their accessibility to some of this? So it really goes on, and it's this big driving force that we're not just draining and bleeding a factory of the resources. Certainly they're being compensated based on cost of goods, but there's other impact factors there. And this is our opportunity, however small or large, to be able to come back into that community and bring something that's of need, that's of benefit, that is ultimately going to keep not just the children, but the adults, the people, the individuals out of the community healthier longer. So they're in school more, they're socially outward more, maybe they're at their jobs more. So it's a reciprocal benefit to be able to bring clean water into these communities for sure.
That's awesome.
So Meg, where were you going to segue from the last comment? Do you remember?
I don't even remember. I think what we were doing for this event was really highlighting what we as an industry are doing to the water quality globally, and then take action against that, and really put pressure on our mills, on our vendors, and to come up with a more sustainable way to produce these goods. And we are already seeing that from a lot of places. When we brought this to a couple suppliers, they were so excited just to be on board and just to align with this, because they're already doing stuff and they have no way to really talk about it. So I guess I'll just dive into what the fundraising is about this time. So the last one, we leveraged the t-shirt. It was a great idea. We're still doing that, but we don't want it to just be about a t-shirt. We've actually reached out to our supplier partners in this industry, and we've asked them to select a product or a line of products. And during second quarter, they would use that product to kind of pitch their own fundraising event or team, and they're going to donate a portion of the sales from that product or products to the Water for Good campaign under their team name. So give me I don't know, I'm just trying to think of one off the top of my head. Hirsch, for example, they would say, Raining Rose, Kate, because she's on the board. She suggested, it wasn't even a drinkware piece, because initially I think we wanted to do just drinkware, line it with water. Kate had suggested a product that wasn't a drinking item, but it was something else that has to do with water. And now every time a distributor buys that over Q2, a portion of those sales are going to go into their team bank, I guess I should say. So what that looks like, if you go to our donation site, which is givebutter.com/waterforgood, what you'll see there is that we already have set teams that have already kind of pre-signed up ahead of time. SNS Activewear is there. Raining Rose is there. I know there's a couple others. And Promo Shop was also an early adopter of this Water for Good fundraiser. So there's teams, and every team wants to raise the most money. And at the end of the day, the team that raises the most money will get their own branding and everything on their own water tower. But we would like to see at least 3 water towers go up. So if you're a supplier, definitely reach out to us. Shoot us an email at forgood@promocares.org, right?
Correcto.
It's going across the bottom of the screen, Meg. We got you covered.
Real quick, the case study on Promo Shop, just real quick to expand, because this is a great little case study. We started working on this just under a year ago and had some initial conversations with Chris Robinson at Promo Shop, who also runs ecopromos.com. And they were so immersed and so engaged in it that they immediately started drafting their own program to start raising money within their national team, their sales force. So we found ourselves within 2 months on a webinar, on a Zoom really, with their entire sales team, speaking to how the program is going to run. And they basically said, all of our drinkware pieces, we're going to take a certain percentage, we're going to donate it, put it towards this cause that PromoCares is working on with Planet Water to bring water in. And their team was so fired up, so good. They invited us onto it just to kind of fill in some like qualifiers and some things to validate, what this is all about. And they crushed it. They're already dropping in a great deal amount of donation that's going to be happening this week. So really, really stoked about that. And there's so many ways to go about this. And this is where Meg or anybody on the PromoCares team is readily available to be able to help kind of navigate the best way or different ways to be able to achieve this.
Yeah, we have a Facebook group. Sorry, real quick, Stephen. We just started a Facebook group specifically for this, a collaboration zone between our supplier partners and our distributor team, so we can work together and share content. That's all I wanted to add that into. Go ahead, Stephen. What was your question?
No, that's great. And before we lose track of time, I did want to kind of share some of like the nerdy behind the scenes of some of these groups. And I think that it's super awesome that you all have found an organization that is, has been vetted, that knows the processes. For those of you that don't know or may not be aware, so I actually sit on a board for a group called Sunica, which they do discipleship through mentorship, education, and water projects, which is one of their main things. And I got to go to Nicaragua last year working, on some water projects. But one of the things I didn't know was, a lot of us think that, it's, we know the needs of the communities. Therefore, people think they know what's best for those communities. And so without an organization like Planet Water, that you guys have vetted to go through, what happens is places like, big corporations will see needs in places like Haiti, Nicaragua, Mexico, Vietnam, all those places that you've mentioned as well, and Mexico, and they'll just go and drop a water tower and they'll leave. The problem is there's no public works departments. Like they don't know how to tap into the water system and add families onto it and how to charge for it and how to measure the water and how to do it. It's just done for them. So a lot of places like Planet Water and Sunica and others, and they go through what's called, this is the nerdy news part, it's called a PRA. It's a participatory rural appraisal. And it's a really neat community assessment where they go in, they have like this giant town meeting. They say, we're interested in looking at what your needs are for the community, and have everyone in the community show up. They do these almost like a craft project where they figure out how the town looks, what are the problems in their town, and then they hand leaders, whoever's kind of identified themselves as leaders, nails, and they say, okay, drive nails into the board and rank them 1 through 5 as far as like your highest priority to lowest priority. And if water happens to be in that list, then they can do a water project. But it shows that they need it and they care about it and they'll know how to use it. But I visited projects before that process, during, and then after. And it's crazy. They're like, this had, 300 homes and now it's got 400 homes because they now know how to, add from the same well process. So it's amazing to see the impact of water in some of these communities. And it's awesome to see what you guys are doing. This is great.
Yeah, it is amazing. I love the vetting process. And that is a critical part, like you're saying, that you don't just come in and drop it to drop it. You've got to do the proper assessments. And a lot of these organizations do a really good job at that.
Yeah.
So Meg, anything else? What can we do? I know Amelia said that if the 1,000 kids dying every day pulls at your heartstrings and doesn't want you to get involved, maybe we should talk about that. Other than because I know we've talked about the give butter thing, and then just how to get involved. So any other closing things or statements to add there for people to get involved or to donate that don't want to get involved?
Well, so we have the fundraising teams, right? We want everyone to sign up for a team and do some fundraising through either our sponsored partners or through the t-shirts. But basically, we have these tiered sponsorship levels in addition to. So if there's a supplier or a distributor who just wants to make a donation, we do have 4 different levels, and they're water drops asked. So it's like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, and 100,000. You get different things like shirts, water bottles are donated to the community on your behalf. There's a social media takeover, podcast takeover, not this podcast, but PromoCare's podcast. And I know one of our goals is really just to create teams that include the distributors and suppliers and service providers to strengthen the relationships in the promotional products industry. We're all about doing good. We want to propel this industry forward. We know that this is a problem. We want to attack it head on. We want to make people uncomfortable. We want to, create an action and have people really see what the possibility is for this industry, because we don't want to be in the news, right? We don't want to be in the news for something bad. You see it all the time. Oh, the promo industry, there's Patagonia's pulling out, they're back in. But you see all these things that are related to sustainability that have a negative look on the promotional product industry. And this is an opportunity to really shine a light on all the things that we're doing that are good. And just being part of this is just really exciting. And it just really fills my soul and my heart. And I was really nervous to actually bring this to SNS Activewear because I'm constantly asking for things like, hey, I need money for this fundraiser or that fundraiser. But they were so excited to be a part of this. I just want to give them a quick shout out because we chose, I did choose the Talltex brand for this particular fundraiser because where we're dropping, when I say dropping, where we're putting these water towers is going to be in that same community that Talltex has one of their plants in, and they have made a very big push on water quality, and we wanted to highlight that. And when I told SNS Activewear this, they were really excited. They didn't want to necessarily say, okay, well, for every Talltex t-shirt you buy, we're going to donate 20%, because they didn't want to just pick their favorite child over one other child. You know what I mean? We all have our favorite kids, but we don't want to pick one brand over the other. So what they're going to do instead is just offer a sponsorship tier, and we're going to put a water tower in the same community that Talltex is in, so we can kind of, it comes full circle. We want the community to see that Talltex, they're drawing resources from that community, they're also giving back. And Talltex is also making a donation on that as well. So we're just really excited. We've got very big partners, and we're up there, like PromoCares and this industry is going to be up there with some really big corporate sponsors. You've got Starbucks, you've got Coca-Cola, Capital One, Kimberly-Clark. Like, these are big names, and we're going to be right there with them. And I think today, it is World Water Day. They're building 22 water towers today in 24 hours, which is amazing. Ours are coming later on this year. We're kicking off our fundraiser today. But yeah, and that Facebook page that Jeff had put up was not correct, so I apologize. There is another Water for Good company out there. It's a little bit different, but ours is the PromoCares Water for Good collection. It will be on the PromoCares Facebook page. It is only for the suppliers, distributors, and service providers that have teams. So reach out to us to get started. We'll set you up a team and give you the toolkits provided to get going.
Yeah, a couple just real quick, because I know we're going to end here, but everybody that we've been speaking to, it's been nothing but buy-in. Clean water is not political. You can't debate whether somebody deserves clean water or not. So everybody's wanting to get involved. And the other thing that Meg mentioned there in terms of who a lot of the big donors are with planetwater.org are also a number of customers to a number of the distributors in this industry. So it really is a full circle in terms of being involved with this organization, with this campaign, and what we're trying to achieve.
Very cool.
Well said.
So what does getting involved look like? And we'll close with that. What kind of, so Roger had mentioned that there's so many different ways to get involved. So what do you got?
Well,
anything to add?
The first thing, we need to get set up. So email us at forgood@promocares.org. If you're a supplier, what we're going to do is find the product or the line of products you want to put into our fundraiser. Zoom Catalog is going to create a special edition Zoom Catalog for this event. Promo Pulse is also going to be pushing out sponsored ads to the distributors. So we're going to have all this Water for Good collateral going out. If you're a distributor, you'll be able to go out and sell confidently these products from our supplier partners, knowing that your donation is already being put in just by selling it. And you can double dip by selling them as well. We do have a Water for Good collection, which will be, like I said before, we'll be able to share that collateral. And there's so many team building opportunities, but that comes with sponsorship opportunities. Again, reach out to me, Scott, Mandy, Danny, Roger, Kate, David, Denise. There's a whole slew of us on the PromoCares board. So we'd love to help you get started.
Awesome.
Very cool. Anything else, Stephen, Scott?
Always, but no, good.
Yeah, good.
Very good. Well, super excited about the initiative. Very cool, and may have to look at getting involved myself. But the t-shirts do look awesome, so definitely go pick one of those up. And if you enjoyed the broadcast, it was brought to you by our good friends over at PromoCorner. PromoCorner provides digital marketing solutions for suppliers and distributors. Their services include email broadcasting, banner ads, sponsorship opportunities, content, and more content, blogs, vlogs, and podcasts, video services, and Promo Show, a platform for private virtual events. Contact sales at promocorner.com to learn more about the services and tell them that we sent you. And look, thank you guys for joining us today. It was super awesome. And until next time, we'll be seeing you. See you guys.
Right on. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of PromoCorner's Industry Insider. For more great content from industry thought leaders, including podcasts, blogs, and videos, visit promocorner.com.